Can you put the past away? Oh, are you recording? Oh shit. How much of the song do you think that was? Oh, dude, we left the fan on. Let me turn that off real quick. We can't get a copyright strike like 10 seconds into a video.
I figured we could just cut it as well.
Oh yeah, but then we have to re-export it if we edit it. So that takes forever. But welcome to episode 3 of the 100 Guys podcast. John is eating some dinner, so that's a good start.
Which mode do we have this on?
What's that?
Was it this one?
If you change the mode, does it mess it up?
No, I don't think so. I think I put it on the right one now.
So let's check out. It's been a while since we uploaded. What, a couple months?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's a good professional. So that we just fucking adjusting the mic like in the middle. Whoa!
My knee.
Torn ACL. D-Rose. No, but last podcast we talked about, let's see. Kevin Spacey, COD World War II. Oh yeah! And we talked about Champion, like the company. The brand. My brand.
Puma.
And Puma, yeah. Yeah, you remember well. It was like 2 months ago. But, oh, did I say Kevin Spacey as well, too?
Huh?
Did I say Kevin Spacey as well? I can't remember already. You can remember what we talked about 2 months ago. I can't even remember what I said like 30 seconds ago. Well, I guess this is our third episode. It's been a while since we uploaded the second one. It's been a couple months. I don't know, we've both been back. Haven't been able to schedule it.
Yeah.
We have a huge fan base, 1 sub, so I know they've been waiting on the edge of their seats with anticipation for episode 3.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, we're back.
Oh, fuck. What?
Okay.
Ow.
So I think I'm going to check out my topics real quick. I think what we were planning on doing is, would starting out with the Logan Paul topic be interesting? Since neither of us have watched the video. Okay, sounds like a plan. So essentially what happened, I don't know if I don't know if you one of the few viewers who are watching this kept up with the whole Logan Paul saga, but in between the last time we and I mean Logan Paul, like, to you watching, he might not be that big of a deal, but in the grand scheme of YouTube, he's a pretty big fucking deal. What does he get, like 3-4 million views a video, something like that?
Something stupid.
It's like insane. But so what happened is, actually in our first podcast we talked about Jake Paul. We watched the carpool karaoke video. But yeah, which I'm gonna actually be uploading a video about like in a day or two. But back to Logan Paul, the brothers Paul. In between our last podcast and now. So Logan Paul, like he's known for doing his whole like persona on YouTube, if you want to call it that, is just him doing like stupid shit.
No, he's like the coolest 12-year-old of all time, but he just happens to be like in a 22-year-old body.
That's a really good description.
It's like some
actually.
Freaky Friday shit. Like,
yeah,
the daycare I used to work at, that's exactly how like the really cool traders act.
I haven't heard that comparison. That's actually really, really accurate. But I guess like his stupidity.
It's just like the not giving a fuck, but like in like such a non-meaningful way.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like just the most like.
There are good ways of going
it's
about
like a
that.
kid. They just pick the most random shit to just try and be badass at. they put the crayons back, but they don't they put them in the wrong order or some shit like that, just to fuck with you. But it's like that's literally just pointless. Like you're only doing that to like make yourself feel like you're like I don't know.
Or it's like, you know what would be fucking hilarious, bro? What? I'm gonna take my Lunchable. And I'm gonna throw it on the back of a car. Dude, that's gonna be fucking. If you don't know, we'll get to that in a second. But he kind of hit an all-time low with I guess what he does on YouTube, and he went into Suicide Forest with a camera. I don't even know what his original intent was, to like build it up as kind of like a haunted, spooky.
Because they were gonna camp there, right?
Oh, were they? Was that the? I don't remember that specifically, but yeah, they went.
I don't know.
Yeah, so they happened to be walking through Suicide Forest, and surprise, as you might have guessed, they found somebody that had committed suicide. Hence the name Suicide Forest. It's a popular place in Japan that people go to commit suicide. And they saw this guy hanging. And then they had a thought that occurred to them, which was, let's joke about how blue his hands look. Let's zoom in on him, show his face. They didn't blur it out, right? Did they? No. And throw him in the thumbnail too.
Yeah. He's just posing, he's like.
Well, imagine the behind the scenes of that. Like him telling whoever's taking the video or whoever,
what angle
the videographer, like, that's fucking. That's just so that ended up happening, and there was backlash as you might have expected, but not right away. Initially with his fan base, since he has quite a young fan base, they I'm sure somebody has explained this a little better than myself, but the initial, I guess, reception of that video was overwhelmingly positive for the most part, like all of his other videos. But and then a few hours after, like larger YouTubers were like, wait, what the fuck? How has this just gone like unnoticed for a few hours? And then there was a lot of backlash. Logan Paul decided to take down the video. And then another thing about taking down videos, everybody going over this, not even showing the original video, but just solely having a face cam of their critique of Logan Paul. YouTube is taking down videos of just like criticism of Logan Paul. Yeah, for what they called violating, it was YouTube. I forget, it was like the YouTube creators, I forget whatever they call it. They're like, their morality system, essentially. Yeah. But, and then there was a video that came out a day or two after that's like, hey, well, everybody's freaking about this. Let's not remember the other shit he did in Japan that like wasn't to this level, but was still really bad. Hence the Lunchable on the back of the car joke, because he threw.
That video's so fucked up.
Yeah, it's so fucked. What all does he do? He's like running around throwing.
They like dressed up like they were in like Mulan or some shit. They started just running around and then
when they got kicked out,
and shit.
Yeah, they got kicked out of a public park and they were acting like, "What are we doing wrong?"
Like, it's because of the cameras, and they're like, "No, it's because you're just a fucking asshole."
Yeah.
And
then threw the fish on the back.
Yeah, they
had
had like a fish and then like an octopus leg.
Yeah,
fucking running around. Holding them up to like he holds them up to like this window of this like shop, and this little girl's just in there like fucking crying, and he's just like, fucking Mavericks, dude, buy the sweatshirt, and it's like
merch link in bio.
She's literally fucking scarred for life.
Yeah.
By this fucking fish.
Well, there was him like running around, and so what I've heard is like boundaries in a lot of Eastern culture is a little different than we have in the U.S.
Yeah, with the big thing with like the boundaries and shit was like when they did like the
Pokeballs.
Pokeballs, and they would.
That's where I was going to with that.
And they would just be like, I choose you! When they would throw this ball at him.
They would just throw his shit.
This dude just fucking riding his bike to work, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it was just extremely disrespectful.
It's like you're a fucking grown man.
Not to like say we're the center of morality or anything, but it's something that clearly everybody can look at. Speak for yourself. but you look at it and it's like clearly fucked up.
It's not a good look, no matter how.
Yeah, so that was, I guess, a really... Well, I mean, it's a podcast, so we can't have long explanations. But that was, I guess, a drawn-out explanation into... we were talking about, neither of us had watched his comeback video, which was yesterday. What, he had taken, like, 2 or 3 weeks off? Something like that?
Yeah, it felt like 8 days, but it was apparently 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because I was like...
Were you just missing some fucking ball videos?
Dude.
Just the time, man. But so I guess we were planning on watching that during the podcast, and there's the recording. Logan and stuff. Can we throw that on there?
On or
got him.
Them hoes clean.
Them hoes clean, boy.
All right.
Throw that. So I guess we're gonna watch this, and then talk about some more stuff later.
Let's open on my computer.
Later, is there? What's that?
Let's open on my computer. It's so fucking porn, dude. No, it's not. I can't open my internet.
Is this the episode we're gonna tweet out? Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll say some terrible shit, but that's all right. That's what happens.
Dude, I have literally the slowest computer. Hey.
Jesus, yeah. Holy shit. Do a bunch of shit open or what's
8 minutes
what's going
later.
on?
No, I think this recording is like literally taking the entire CPU because I think I changed the color mode and I think that fucked it up a little bit.
Oh well. We'll see how this works. We're pulling up YouTube right now. Is the recording, like, is that showing that? Fuck yeah, dog.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog.
I mean, yeah, dog.
I mean, fuck. Yeah, dog.
So it's these.
Oh, fucking stitch.
Yeah, that burn.
Alright. What are we doing here?
So just go to Logan Paul's channel and then it should be on there. Dude, have you seen his parents' stuff too?
No.
Like, it's not like they do anything, like, deliberately wrong. It's just, like, they're very odd. Like, you can kind of watch their videos and realize, like, oh, this is how we have a Logan Paul.
Suicide. Be here tomorrow. That one?
Suicide. What? His video's called that?
Is that the most recent one, or is he just doing...
No, is that actually from his channel?
Yeah.
Suicide, period, be here tomorrow. Oh, did you watch the, like... Do you want to watch the year in review 2017 after the Logan Paul one? Or the one we're going to watch?
Be here tomorrow.
But he, did you hear about the 2017 video he uploaded? Or whatever, like, year in review? It was literally him just, like, bragging about shit for, like, 3 minutes straight. He's like, bought a $5.5 million mansion in cash. Like, it's just like a...
Cash!
Cash, baby!
Another one. Cash!
Should we get this shit started?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did we decide that on OBS, the only way, like, it records the audio from the video is through the mic?
I think so. Yeah. We can just have it all the way up and then see how it goes.
Yeah.
This will probably be... How long is this video? 7 minutes?
7 minutes.
Should we... So real quick, do you want to pause it? What I was going to say is, if you watched any of our previous episodes, which if you did, thank you. I don't know why, but it's very kind of you, some charity work. But do you remember the Skull and Bones 32? We probably paused that. We dragged out like a 10-minute video into like a 45, like 50-minute like section. So we'll try to limit like...
Watch this straight through and then we'll discuss after. You can write down any comments we have. He was like mid-word, so we can go back. Wow, they even did the Golden Gate Bridge or whatever.
Wow. He probably just bought that like stock footage online.
This is the watermark. It's just like an actual like suicide commercial, and he just took their B-roll.
Like whoever edited that, they're like, "Damn, this is a really niche market, but I think it's a really kind of."
It's literally just like stock footage or some shit from like a.
Well, I mean, I guess video. Like if you were to pick any bridge, it would make sense. Like, because the Golden Gate Bridge is known for that.
Yeah, it's from like a travel channel special or some shit. And he just took the
Travel Channel special, but about suicide. Travel Channel tackles suicide, depression.
Anthony Bourdain.
It's fucking raw. With special guest Gordon Ramsay. Oh Jesus. The only show that it's and you have the volume all the way up.
For 40 minutes. Crying like a baby. Bikers, joggers, tourist runners.
We gotta evaluate like whether or not he's actually genuine.
For suicidal people went by me twice. I'm standing at the ledge, leaning over the rail with tears flowing down to the waters. And I thought to myself,
oh, that's the guy that lived, right? That jumped off the bridge.
My head said, "Jump now," and I did.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He's like one of the only people that actually
my hands
survived
the rail,
and got the Golden
my
Gate.
legs flew over it. It was an instant regret. The depression was wiped from my mind, and all I wanted to do was live.
I'm sorry, like this is a serious video and the topic's serious, but it's like it's fucking Logan Paul.
Dude.
Feel free to just play it through.
He's just like.
Can you imagine just like his
like,
internal like process, like shit.
He's trying so hard to resist the urban dab. He's got people holding his arms back. Like,
dab on film.
He's just instant regret. He's just
fuck on him.
Dude.
Yeah,
it's that fucking jawline though. You see that shit?
Dude, that could cut steel.
A handsome ass skeleton.
Yeah. He lose like 50 pounds in his 2 weeks off.
He hasn't eaten in 3 weeks.
The topic of killing yourself has really been killing me recently. As I tackle depression.
What is this behind him? Is this like a?
I don't even know. Be here tomorrow.
It was live, and I thought it's too late.
Oh yeah, you might want to grab a charger real quick.
Kevin Hines was 19 when he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. He is one of the many incredible people that I've been grateful to meet over the past 3 weeks as I aim to further
real quick,
understand the complexities.
Like you know how like most statistics speak in absolutes, like just kind of as a general rule.
Yeah.
But he had like 1 in 6 people seriously think about suicide. So nobody who's just fucking around. Like you have to be seriously thinking about it.
Yeah, so like hunger wouldn't be included in that. Fucking, I don't find that job soon. Fucking.
That was pretty funny.
He's.
See, should we get this shit going?
Mate? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you missed.
And I know I've made mistakes. I know I've let people down. But what happens when you're given an opportunity to help make a difference in the world?
The backlash against the social media star.
Very popular guy called
Logan
Oh.
Paul is in some hot
He's a
water.
complete and utter insensitive idiot.
Taking a break from daily
Even
vlogging.
he says his latest
we go.
content was his biggest mistake.
Apologize to the victim and his family. It's time to learn from the
How long do you
past
think he,
and better and grow as
Is that the sink at Planet Fitness?
How long do you think it took him to do his hair before the apology video?
Yeah.
Like a solid half
So
an
I've
hour.
never been so
Dude, he got a haircut.
single event.
3 weeks.
I was shocked to discover just
Is he in a
how
therapy
big
session right now? Or
this
what
is.
the-
I don't know what's going
You've
on.
never known anybody that killed themselves? No, that was part of the problem. It's just my ignorance of the subject. But in Ohio, where you come from, it's the second leading cause of death.
No,
I know
actually,
while
that's
I'm
wrong.
not able to solve the
They weren't
problem
seriously
by
thinking about
myself, I want to be a part of the solution. And that solution began across the country in New York City. We sat down with Dr. John Draper, director of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. We have to change the conversation publicly from just focusing on suicide and how something bad is happening and say, well, what do we do about it? Help people understand that the first thing they need to do is reach out and talk to somebody when they're feeling despair, because you're not alone with it anymore. They've done studies with people who are experiencing any kind of pain, including hanging off a cliff. You can hold on a lot longer if somebody is right there with you. I think as a society, as human beings, we just have to be more compassionate. And that includes me too. That's something I'm learning along this journey. And something else that Dr. Draper told me were the 5 steps that anyone can take to help prevent suicide.
Real quick,
Step
I'm gonna
1
pause
is
him.
simply just ask. Ask yourself, ask
Like
others. Are you
The dog thing is like one of the number one things you see in any like ad or video that you're supposed to be like emotionally affected by. Like it's a tactic literally used in like I'm not necessarily saying that he's not genuine, but it's just like it's literally like the cookie cutter stereotypical like thing you throw in. But
Oh, here's me, Logan Paul, internet sensation, playing with a pebble by a stream with my ranch dog.
I love how they fucking brought out the like doctor dude. You know the like UFC legend, like the Iceman,
Yeah.
who like it literally looks like him like 3 months into Boston or some shit. Like fucking doctor they talk to. That's the same. Like yeah, I forget that guy's name though. I remember. MMA's coming later. We'll talk about that. We're tackling the deeper topics right now, like depression with Logan Paul, Anthony Bourdain, and Gordon Ramsay. So we'll get back into this.
about suicide? And I know that sounds like a daunting question, but literally that question can save lives. Step 2, accordingly, would be just to listen. Be present, don't make any judgments, and then step 3 would be there for them, even after you've already asked, because dependability is key. Step 4 is then help them connect, whether it's with a friend, a family member, a local suicide hotline, therapist, but help them reach out to someone so they don't have to deal with this alone. Lastly, step 5 is just check in on them, show them that you care. Call them up, say, hey, I want to make sure you're okay, can I check in with you for the next 3 days?
Just in case,
Bring him back out. I gotta look up what that dude's name is.
in case you were wondering, I'm still playing with this pebble by the stream.
1 second, let me
Probably
show you
he's
this.
probably been there for 3 weeks just thinking about what he did.
Oh yeah, Chuck Liddell.
Face. solid.
Like the dude literally looks like Chuck Liddell with a ponytail.
It's like Chuck Liddell mixed with fucking some Counter-Strike player. What's his name?
Shit, I don't know.
It's
Pasha.
Pasha Baista. It's like
Yeah, we can.
Hazed.
Well.
That's what it is. Hazed.
Oh, okay. Who does he play for?
So one of the
Yeah, I don't think he's on a team right now.
Oh,
He
really?
was optics coach for a while.
Oh, okay.
things
But
that is so
now
important
they
about
like switch their whole
reducing
roster.
stigma is getting stories out there about people positively coping with suicide.
Do you guys know anyone I can talk to with a lived experience of suicide?
Absolutely. We have quite a number of people that we can refer over to. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And that's how we got introduced to Kevin Hines. 17 years ago, Kevin jumped off of the Golden Gate Bridge and survived.
These are individuals whose stories, when people hear them,
It's the same
they say,
shot every
I
time.
mean, this video is actually really well done.
Yeah.
as opposed to
But yeah, it
hearing
is like literally just him
the stories
tossing
that
a
people
pillow.
have. And those are, unfortunately, those are stories that we've heard before. Now we're hearing more and more stories of people.
Yeah, I've actually I'd heard about this guy
As I was
before the
saying
video.
before, Logan, for every
Yeah.
one person that dies by suicide, there's 287 other people that think
I figured
seriously
out
about it
one,
but don't.
or maybe
Those are
it's-
stories, again, that have not been told. If we told those stories of people who got through it as opposed to one who didn't, imagine what kind of influence that would have on people's behavior.
When I found out that 1 in 6 high school kids seriously think about suicide, that's stunning.
Yeah.
This is such a common problem.
Logan, all I wanted was for one person to look me in my eyes and say, hey, kid, are you okay?
That's
I am
the
so
intense
grateful
pose.
to be alive.
I wasn't ready for
I'm
that.
grateful today for every millisecond I get to breathe. Because it was almost all ripped from me by me.
What's one thing you would have said to your younger self? To the Kevin who was 19,
Buy Bitcoin.
sitting on the bus,
Dog.
if you were next to you, instead of the guy who pointed and laughed.
Man came up to me on the bridge.
I would just
Don't
put my
do
hand
it.
on
Buy
his
Bitcoin.
Got this
I would
pizza.
put my
It's
hand
worth
on my
10,000 Bitcoin.
I would just say, I'm here for you.
Jesus, it's actually really powerful.
I got you.
Yeah.
We need to be a society that comes together for every person in the community that's going through hell. And in order to do that, every person that's going through hell, whatever hell, has to be honest about their pain. And if they're going to be honest about their pain, we are going to collectively answer the call and be there for that individual. Because if you don't see beauty in the next person you meet, you're not looking hard enough. You're an incredible dude.
It's good that he's used, I guess, a blessing in his life and done good with it. Yeah.
From this point on, I want to make an effort to contribute and immerse myself in the conversation. So I'm pledging to donate $1 million to various suicide prevention organizations. With the first $250,000 going immediately to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, so they
I'm
can
glad to
increase
see
their
that, 'cause
capacity to
it's-
help those in need.
For anyone watching,
That's
I
simply
want you
bigger
to
than
know
influence.
you're
Well,
not
I mean, not
alone.
necessarily, but it's something
Most of the
different.
time, crisis passes. So if you or anyone
The
you
hell
know
this dude
feels
got $1
alone,
million
or trapped,
just
I
laying
encourage
around
anyone to
for?
call or even text the
The
suicide or
fuck?
crisis hotline. Both of those numbers are below, and although this is a tough conversation, it's important because things can and will get better. It's time to start a new chapter in my life as I continue to educate both myself and other patients. It's important because things.
I was gonna say something about that.
This
Super
shot is
intense
literally this
close-up
shot is literally just like straight out of his like. It's like the blooper reel of his senior pictures.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
Both
yeah.
of those numbers are below, and although this is a tough conversation,
Super intense.
things
Just like
can and will get better. It's time to start a new chapter in my life as I continue to educate both myself and others on suicide. I'm humbled and thankful to say, this is just the beginning.
It's cool that he's plugging that Logic song.
who can relate? Woo! Woo! No, honestly, my initial reaction to that video is pretty positive. I feel like I can say, at least going into this conversation, where I don't know, you never really want to like self-diagnose or something, but I guess we both probably dealt with something like depression in the past.
Yeah.
I can say confidently. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have to get in depth on anything like that, but just like as far as well, no, I'm just saying that like yeah, it's something that we both gone through for quite a while, but
Yeah.
in had, but no, I it's tough. Like, I mean, I do believe he's actually genuine in that. Obviously, it's impossible to tell because I mean, the only person who can really know what Logan Paul thinks is fucking Logan Paul vlogs verified on YouTube. But I don't know. I don't know. It's good. I do believe he's genuine. I don't know though. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good video. I mean, like, obviously it was well done, but like beyond that, I thought it was like.
It was kind of cheesy.
It was pretty cheesy. But
like a lot of it felt like if I was going to make an apology video over something I seriously fucked up about.
Yeah.
Here's like everything I should do. I don't know, but except maybe the title. That's a little confusing.
Be here tomorrow.
Be here tomorrow. Suicide. We found a dead body.
Like it's a fucking like movie trailer or something.
Yeah.
Suicide.
What if he just came in? What if it like started like one man in a brave world made a seriously messed up mistake that he apologizes severely for. Oh yeah, speaking of that. Well, let's see. Any more
Top
thoughts
comment, give the man a break.
We should pull up that Instagram video I was telling you about after this. But no, I don't know. I guess I'll give him the benefit. I mean, it's not like it needs my validation or anyone else's. But the one thing I guess that I was listening to another podcast. I forget who said it, but they were talking about like it might not necessarily have that big of an effect when the YouTube community, like when there's a lot of backlash from that. But
yeah,
like from what he's talked about, like he aspires to be an actor in the future, and he wants like his career to be bigger than just YouTube.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like a platform to him to step off of to like a certain extent.
And
when you see like people from Hollywood and big execs and television hosts and everything like talking about him that way, I could see how that could actually have an impact. Because if you're literally wake up to everybody that you look up to saying that you're a piece of shit, like that's probably gonna have like, at least But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like what his next video is. He's like, we're out here fucking throwing Pokeballs and individuals trying to go throughout their day. But I'm gonna shut the window. It's super loud. But yeah, I don't know. You wanna pull up that Instagram video I was talking about?
What Instagram video?
You wanna just type in Josh O'Valley. Just a little I don't know, this is a little bit of a different tone than the last video, but it's pretty funny. It's about the first one. If you go to his Insta, it should pop up.
Go to who?
Just type in, just search Josh, and then space OVALLE, and then Insta, it should pop up. And then, yeah, if you just go to his account, it should be, let's see. So scroll down a little bit more. It's the one bottom right.
This one?
Yeah. Though this is obviously a different tone, but yeah, let's see what he had to say.
Yesterday, Logan Paul filmed a dead body. I'm sure you, sitting on your phone watching this video right now, gave your 2 cents on fucking Twitter or whatever, so listen up, here's mine. Back the fuck up off this guy. He's a great guy with a great personality who makes videos every single day for kids like me. And you're trying to drag him down for what? He makes videos every day. You think he's never gonna accidentally film a dead body? Whatever. I forgave him right after I saw the video, and then I saw he actually apologized, and I was like, okay. That guy was literally dead. You think he gives a shit? No. So why do you? The only mistake I think Logan Paul made was deleting that video. Yesterday,
Isn't that literally like exactly what a kid said?
No, well, he was on Cody Ko's podcast, and what he said is he was like, I literally just took like what his supporters said and just kind of like made a satirical video about that. But see, what else are we gonna? Oh yeah, the Logan Paul. We're gonna look up the 2017 year in review. Yeah, it's pretty funny. How far is it recording? I'm gonna double check that. How far are we through?
30 minutes.
Jesus. If anybody's still here, thank you very much.
30 minutes.
But us just like chilling for like a half an hour. Dude, suicide's such a like cool topic to start off with. Because on
10, what?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, we can just check out part of it when he talks about it. We can pause it halfway through. You want to skip through to where he's actually like talking about stuff?
Oh, look at it's his all yellow bird.
That's a good boy.
I didn't know
He
before.
lays out his clothes. What a fucking nerd.
Kong, don't try this at home, buddy.
What the fuck? Oh my. What?
Are you okay? No, that hurt, bro. Okay, hey, yo, good morning, Logan. What's up?
Jesus.
Oh, man, the 2017 year review video. Where do I begin? I guess I could start with this.
Yeah.
At 22 years old, I bought my first house for $6.5 million and moved my 2 boys in with me. What's up? Hey! But I wasn't quite satisfied, so I had a koi pond put in. Painted the walls of the Where do I begin? I guess I could start with years old. I bought my first house for $6.5 million and moved my 2 boys in with me. What's up? Hey!
Is that the kid? Literally the kid from.
He's not a kid. He's a little person.
I know, literally the kid. No, but the kid from Little People, Big World. That's why I said the kid, because of the family he's with.
Is he really?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just know
Looks
he's like
exactly fucking like him.
he's kind of like big on Instagram, but I don't know what for.
But I wasn't quite satisfied, so I had a
kind of
koi
like
pond
just
put
about
in.
must be really big on Instagram.
Painted the walls of the guest house. Bought a giant truck known as the Yeti. Bought a school bus, and then turned it into a cool bus.
Jesus.
Installed a home theater system. Blah, blah, blah. More material objects. Guys, the point is I bought a lot of things, including this Rolex. Hey, guys. Anyways, 2017 was the year.
That how he
This was my
acknowledges
Rocky
his
Field year.
bragging.
Hi, how you doing? This was
And
the
then
year
non-ironically
that the
does it
two first
again, or
names, Logan
unironically.
and Paul, became a household name. Now, before you make your judgments, let me stop you guys.
We can
The
probably
legend
honestly
Muhammad
call it
Ali
good.
once said,
This
it's not
is like-
bragging. If you can back it up. Wow, your boy put a dent in the universe this year. Let's start with number 1, internet domination. Logan, we became the
His
fastest
humility.
channel to hit 10 million subscribers in the history of YouTube ever.
If I ever say that I put a
It
dent
took
in
us
the universe, just like
333
never
days,
talk
and
to
I
me
got my
again.
diamond plaque, which is pretty cool.
Don't worry about that.
But the plaque was only a small representation of how strong the Logang truly is. We realized our
It's
true
really
power
close,
after
okay.
we made history by shutting down the Dubai Mall with the biggest meet and greet in the world.
What, is that where he saw the sun for the first time?
It is, yeah. Yeah, Maverick.
Next level, guys. 2.8 billion views on YouTube this year. Even old people know
That's
who I
fucking
am.
ridiculous.
I also continue to break down the barriers of traditional Hollywood as internet star turned actor.
Yeah, there's the actor thing, I guess.
I played a character that's even chottier than me named Mickey Bowen in a movie called Valley Girl. This will be my first movie going into theaters. It's coming out next year, June 29th, by the way, so save the date. But yeah, it was produced by MGM. It's that lion that roars. Yeah, that's the one. I also did a movie called The Thinning 2. It'll come out next year around the same
Oh,
time.
dude, did I tell you that I
So
actually
save
watched the
that
first
date,
one?
too.
Isn't it not coming out anymore?
I don't know what'll
Also
happen with the
did
second one. I'm sure it will, like,
season of my show,
eventually.
Local Verse.
But,
I went
the
on
first one was
episodes
just,
of
like,
Top Chef.
terrible.
I did a demolition derby.
I'd fucking watch the
I
second
wrestled
one.
an alligator. I dressed up as an old person for the day and went to a retirement home.
So is he literally just listing off things that Johnny Knoxville did before him?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
He's literally he's like Johnny Knoxville, but for like anybody in the age
Like
range of like
preteens?
7 to like 13.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I hitchhiked from Canada to Mexico, and I was the mayor of a small town in Louisiana for a weekend. And lastly, let's not forget about my movie Airplane Mode, starring your favorite social media stars coming to YouTube.
Oh, you know who's in that?
January. I don't know if I'm allowed to
FPS
say
Russia is in that movie. I feel like he was talking about it in his questions.
So that's cute. That's foo-foo. But the biggest game changer for me, the thing that helped me build all of this, was when I started the hottest clothing line on the market.
You want to hear a backstory of that movie, Airplane Mode? Real quick?
I started the hottest clothing line on the market.
What is your Be a Maverick! what's your ham line?
What's your ham line?
But,
I don't even know.
So like FPS Russia is a really popular podcast, and he was telling like a story like behind the scenes about that. How so there's a band that's called Airplane Mode that has had like a small amount of success. They have like a few thousand followers. So they're past the point of like not being noticed at all, but it's not like they've really grown like a big fan base or anything.
Yeah.
And they had the Twitter username at Airplane Mode, and I guess the film was like they were having troubles with it because I think there was also like a trademark for Airplane Mode, if I remember, but at least the story he told specifically, like they were trying to get the username at Airplane Mode from the band, and like the most money they'd offer them was like $200 for like their username, and they have a fucking like mega budget movie probably that spent like I'd say at least like $10-15 million, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
Their
well, I was
budget,
gonna say
that's-
like when I looked at last time I looked at buying a URL like a
Okay.
I don't even know like what to call it, but like a domain name.
Okay.
Yeah. Last time I looked at buying.
Oh, you mean a
domain
URL?
Name. A URL.
I'm just kidding.
That's
Oh,
how
I didn't know
buying-
either. So like.
Buying a okay, I was looking at buying a domain name. Right?
Yeah.
And the one I wanted wasn't even that good,
Mm-hmm.
and it literally was like, the dude emailed me. He was like a broker, and he said basically email me if you're interested. He basically said that like the owner of the domain name has like already turned down multiple 7-figure offers, and I was
What?
like, okay, I guess
That's got to be like
guess I'll find another one. Like I don't know.
BS to an extent. Like.
I was gonna say he still emails me about it, so he's still like, oh, we have another like shopper who's like in serious interest in this. Call me back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Do you
don't know.
think that's some? I hadn't really.
Ghosted
Even,
his ass. What?
I haven't even thought about it. That I mean, obviously not. But do you think that's something where people just grab a bunch of like random ass domains and just sit on them for like forever? Like I haven't thought too much about that. But should we hop off the Logan Paul video?
We're not gonna look at the hottest clothing line in 2017.
We
Buy
had
that
our first Maverick
merch.
pop-up shop in New York, and we shut down Soho for 3 days straight.
Literally look at the
It's insane
traffic,
seeing
like
everyone joining
just
the
regular
revolution,
people trying to get to work. That like fucking
cost New York City police $250,000 because the planning wasn't the best. That's my bad, New York. Oh, I also took my shirt off. What's new? But it's funny because the second pop-up store was actually on a first-class flight to Dubai.
Watch us get a copyright strike for like the music of this. 45 minutes into it.
And just a little forewarning, I don't think I'm allowed to fly on that airline again. Throw me off the plane. But it's all good because that was fire, baby. Wow, life is amazing. Guys, I've learned a lot this year too, and I
It's the second sunrise he's ever seen. So
think
fucking-
even though I'm a young child,
I love how we just dropped
This
that.
dude is
after
this dude has
that.
literally seen the sun twice in his
Yeah,
life.
what
This
we're
is-
referencing is
Look at
iDubbbz and H3H3, very popular YouTubers, made a video talking about Logan Paul. Like had a vlog that he uploaded where
it's all good.
I guess he claimed that he had been partially colorblind his whole life, and then he got corrective glasses that he used for the video, and then he was like overacting like every new thing that he saw with these glasses. It was like clearly just played up to like such an he was crying. Yeah, I remember that. Like it was ridiculous. And then but after that video, he hasn't even brought it up again. As if they were so great, don't you think you'd see them again in a video? Like if they
If they changed his life, you'd probably wear it more than once.
made enough of an impact to start crying at a sunset, then like you'd
You
think
see,
that
he
he'd be
saw it
wearing
once
them.
and brought
No,
him to
that's
tears, but he
good.
was like, "That's good." I was just probably
Chasing
saying
a
that.
dragon at this point, honestly, not gonna get better than that.
Yeah.
Because that was fire, baby. Wow, life is amazing. Guys, I've learned a lot
Wow.
this year too, and I think even though I'm a young church, everyone can take a piece of wisdom with them from my
Even though I'm a young,
young
church, Dad. Even though I'm a young church,
Dude, you know what
my
his
face,
logo?
bro, dude.
You know what his
I'm a-
logo
it's
looks like?
Fucking young
This year.
church.
Check this out. Doesn't I immediately thought of like it's actually pretty similar.
Yeah, it really
experiences.
is.
Because I've
Yeah,
done
I
a
pulled
lot
up
of
the
these. Guys, I believe that life is all about
Firebird
mindset. It's
logos.
about
I'm like, holy
perspective.
shit, that
Or how you
like
look at
is
things.
his logo just
Or
like stretched out?
Or how you look at the wisdom with them from my
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's
Looks like that one Breaking Benjamin
I've done a
album
lot
cover.
of- Guys, I believe that life is all about a mindset. It's about perspective, or how you look at things. For example, check this out.
Wow, that was crazy.
So
Dude.
for
You should
me,
be on Brain
my
Games.
experiences, because I've done a lot of. Guys, I believe
Dude,
that life
look
is
at
all
this. Look at how much bigger his fucking truck looks than him. That's crazy.
about a
But
mindset. It's about perspective.
optical
Or how you
illusion.
look at
Wait,
things.
he was on his
For
truck the whole
example,
time.
So for me, guys, the
That's
grind
actually,
is
I mean,
real,
that's
like,
somewhat
I'm
of a cool
barely
shot.
sleeping,
I'll be
but
credit
I
for
found
that.
what it is that I
But it's
love.
just the
That's what
context
I'm
of everything
saying. I
around
don't
it.
work,
It's kind of like,
but I work hard. Maybe start thinking like this. I don't have to go to work.
What if he fell, dude? My bro.
my Ron, not with a Maverick.
Right? I don't
Big
have to go to
fan
school.
of these
I get to go to
sweats
school.
though.
I get to learn.
These are pretty sick.
Think,
I'll
Yeah.
give him that. Those are some nice.
Those are like tights.
I
Some
get
nice
to go to school. I
Yagers.
get to learn, think, grow better because not everyone has that luxury. Needless to say, 2017 was absolutely crazy. But let's go rapid fire for a
I
second.
haven't seen
Here's
too much of his other stuff.
Does it
But
not
this,
look like the cicada logo too, or what the fuck are we doing?
it does. Yeah.
things I left out. I shipped my roommate Evan to Paris in a bag. I crashed
I
France's
didn't.
first ever Saturday Night Live. I hung out with The Rock again. I faked my death and then got kicked out of my
Oh,
apartment
that's
for that.
terrible,
Then I
too.
moved it. Then
Yeah, did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Fuck
he has this in his bragging video for.
also got kicked out of that apartment too. I officiated a wedding. I filled my brother's pool with slime. Presented a Billboard Music Award. Filled my bus with
Probably got
moss, caught a
divorced.
homeless guy trying to steal my bus and touched reptiles with my mom.
That's literally like.
So I
I think it was like What Culture or like Cut did a video of like celebrities doing that, and then he just had copied the exact same video like a week later. The like box thing. But
I've seen the- Cody
what
Cole.
are you throwing up?
My year in review. Have you seen his?
Should we start talking about shit instead of just fucking?
No, dog.
No, because we are. How far are we through this recording?
No, dog.
We're like 45 minutes into this, and all we've done is.
What's up, guys?
42.
I'm chilling in
Oh,
Montana
42.
here right now.
I'm just watching
Wearing my
videos.
own merch.
How long
just
is this video?
reflecting on the year.
Dude,
20
he's literally. What?
How long is this video?
Like 12 minutes, but we don't have to watch
Do you want to just watch part of it? Yeah.
Dude, I love how literally it's just a straight Logan Paul with it's like wearing my own merch.
Oh yeah.
Wearing my
love
own
Cody Cole.
merch. Just reflecting on the year 2017. It was a good year.
It's actually a pretty good
Things that
video
happened this
from-
year.
I watched
Let's
this
see.
when I uploaded it.
Someone changed the Hollywood sign to Hollyweed. That shit was hilarious. Firefest. Fucking.
Do you want to pull up the they call me Nick Jonas or whatever video for like real quick after this? Just like that 30-45 seconds of
Yeah.
that song.
New Ed Sheeran album. It's been a good fucking year. So this is my 2017 year in review. For me, personally, this is the shit that I did. You know, it's not supposed to be a flex or anything. There's a lot of shit this year that didn't work out. There's a lot of shit that worked out. But I thought I'd, put together a little. This is mostly for me. I don't know. I think the old jokes are getting to me. I think my memory's actually going. So I need a public record of the things that happened to me in 2017 so I can go back and watch it. So, without further ado, here's my 2017 year in review.
It's not that Cody
January,
necessarily
started
looks
the year
old.
by blowing your
It's just like he looks
fucking
20 and
minds.
40
You
at the same
cannot
time.
tell me this is not
Yeah.
true. I started acting classes, which is the scariest shit I've ever done. You don't know shame until you faked an orgasm in front of 20 people on your first day in class.
We
I
can do that
started
right here.
podcasts in late
In front of 20
December,
people.
and in January I changed the name from fucking chillin' to insanely chill, which I still regret a little bit. I made and posted a
Fucking
video
chillin'.
about how shitty Instagram comedians are, and it got 50,000 views in one day, which was by far the most I've ever had. And in the next 3 days, it got 400,000 views, and my channel went from 30,000 subs to 130 in a day, which is fucking insane. People really hate Instagram comedy, apparently. Because of that, I started getting a lot of really loving comments, like this one that said I had the face version of a dad bod. We finished writing and shot the first 4 episodes of my show, Go Rodeo, which was on full screen. And we started working on a pilot that I got to star in for a
Oh yeah, I've
company
actually.
called Inform, and
Have you
it's
seen
about
that
a dude
video?
who sleeps with cougars.
It's the one where he's like
So it's a true
dancing in the
story.
Mercedes. I think I snapped that to you and Kyle like a while
I've never
ago.
done that. I went to Whistler for the first time
Like a
and
month
found out
ago
it was
or
the best place on earth. Basically just looks like Harry Potter world, but with a bunch of drunk people walking around. I did a no jumper interview, and while I was there I met Lil Pump and Small Perp, which I've never felt more out of touch than in that moment. I did a video where I read my DMs, which I think now has over 1 million views. The first episode of Go Rodeo came out, and I don't think anyone really watched it, but I did. and I thought it was good. And then at the end of January, I flew to Hawaii and surprised my dad, and I worked on finding my inner chi. February, did a video about my favorite fictional character, Esteban. Goddammit, bro! I hit 200
Goddammit,
bro!
Which again, fucking crazy. I ran a 15K while I was sick as fuck, and I vlogged it and turned it into like an anime, sort of. I don't know. You gotta watch that video. It's fucking weird, but I love it. I got and agreed to do an 8-month-long partnership with Axe hair product.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Sellout. We shot the next 4 episodes of Go Rodeo, which included decorating a dildo. Isn't that nice? Hurt Bait broke my fucking heart. Hit 10 million views in total on my YouTube channel, which may not seem like a lot, but for me it was a lot. Flew back to Calgary for a day, that's where I'm from. I drove to Montana, and I realized I should have never switched to snowboarding, because skiing is way better, and I'm sorry if you think that it's not, but it's fucking true, okay? Flew back to LA, and I got 2 new tattoos for a YouTube video. Do I regret them? Not really.
Looks like Ed Hardy made your legs.
March, I went to Ty Lopez's house and shot
Oh
a video
yeah, I
with him.
forgot about that.
I DM'd him as a joke, basically, and was like, hey, do you want to shoot a video? And he was like, sure. And I was like, oh fuck, okay, so I did it. I went to Chicago for St. Patty's Day. I posted the video with Ty Lopez.
What it
and
sounds
a
like
bunch of
Ty
people thought I
Lopez
got
is pretty
paid
cool
to
about
do
that
it,
stuff.
Which,
Like, he
honestly,
doesn't
I probably
really
should have.
care so
Started a
much
new
for the
podcast called
shit.
Orange is the New County.
Must be,
where we
like,
watch and
self-aware
review
to an
every
extent.
episode of the OC. Shit was an overnight sensation. Not really, but people liked it. I auditioned for a bunch of stuff that I didn't get. Shot The Real Bros of Simi Valley with Jimmy, Getter, and Nick. And I do burn. I do. Finally shot the pilot for New Form. I watched Duke lose.
So you paused this part with
People
you,
started
or
finding
what?
out that I'm old. I started the Not Your Average Q&A series.
Do you want to just sit through the rest?
I signed with UTA. I do have an agent. How fucking Hollywood is that shit? Shut.
Alright, what are we doing?
Should we move on, or
Yeah, let's move on, dog. What's up?
should we should I cover so should I go into the MMA talk for recently? Explain my
Dude,
yeah.
Francis fucking lost.
Francis, dude. Yeah. So
What the hell?
I really I don't. It's not that I even necessarily know that much about MMA, but I really don't have too many people to actually talk about that with. It's it's a growing sport, but yeah, I don't really have too many people in my circle that keep up for the most part. But what happened is this would have been it would have been almost a week ago. So last Saturday, what actually happened is MMA isn't necessarily most modern American sports where it's for NFL or for football we have the NFL and that's it for the most part, and for baseball we have the MLB. It's the same thing. For basketball we have the NBA, but MMA is slightly different where they're actually the UFC is by far the largest organization. They're actually smaller organizations that people keep up with, and Bellator is one of those, and it's the second biggest MMA league, and if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And so what happened is honestly a big thing that Bellator has been doing is what they did, at least with one guy that fought on the card. They took Rory McDonald, who was always a really good fighter for the UFC, but he doesn't necessarily have a super outgoing personality, so he's not that marketable, even though he was a tremendous athlete. So essentially what Bellator said is, hey, we see you're not getting paid a shit ton for the UFC. We know you're a really good athlete, so we're going to take you on. We're going to pay you a hell of a lot of money, but it's going to be worth the investment because it's going to grow our brand. Yeah. And so they take on him. He fought that Saturday. And the big thing that they do, too, is they take guys that have, retired or are not at the level anymore to, fight in the UFC, but are, UFC legends and well-known names in the MMA community, and they say, hey, we're going to take you on, and you can fight in our... So you see, some older guys from the UFC come in, and that's a big draw for, the UFC fans. And,
Yeah.
So what they're doing is, as of now, Bellator didn't have a heavyweight division.
Yeah.
They just stopped at light heavyweight. So there obviously wasn't a championship belt for heavyweight. So what they said is, we're going to take 8 guys, really well known in the MMA community. Most of them used to fight in the I think I almost said WWE. I think 6 or 7 of the 8 total fighters that they have in this thing that I'll explain in a second used to fight in the UFC. So they're very well known names. Yeah. And so what they're doing essentially is doing an old school MMA style tournament where they're having a bracket of 8 fighters, and they all fight, and eventually the 2 meet up and fight for the belt. But what they're doing is that at each Bellator event, they're having fighters from the heavyweight or who are in the heavyweight tournament go up against each other.
Yeah.
And so Bellator has that going on, and then the UFC, that was Bellator 192. UFC had UFC 220 that Saturday, and that was a really good fight, or that was a really good card, because I know there was a Thomas Almeida fight that was on the main card, which he's a pretty well-known name, which was really good. I forget if he lost or won, honestly. I don't remember. But the two biggest fights on that were both championship fights. It was Daniel Cormier, the Carmel, essentially. It's tough to describe Daniel Cormier's body type. He's just thick.
It's the Martian.
Honestly,
It's
just
the
yeah.
Michelin Man.
The Michelin Man. That's a good way to describe him. But he's like deceptively quick. And they were fighting for a lightweight, heavyweight belt, and it was against Ozdemir, who he hadn't really fought any huge name. Well, I think he beat Arvlovsky. I forget, but he was still like up and coming. He was a guy that known for his stand-up ability.
Yeah.
Had knockout power. And then speaking of knockout power, the actual like main event, that was the light heavyweight belt, but the heavyweight belt that people have been looking forward to for quite a while was in between Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou. And see, the heavyweight belt, he technically was tied for the record of the longest like defense streak, which I mean, it was only 2 fights, being fair. But the heavyweight belts really jumped around for quite a while. But so all these fights, Bellator and UFC, on one night. So it was crazy. I know I wasn't alone. I was jumping back and forth between both events. But what we saw with Bellator is Rory McDonald, the guy I was talking about earlier, beat Douglas Lima pretty easily, honestly. I think he struggled for a couple rounds, but he won it pretty easily at the end. Yeah. In which I like Rory a lot. He's had a fight against Robbie Lawler, which most MMA fans know that's like, it's one of the greatest. I'll have to show you it sometime. Like out of like UFC fights, it's like one of the greatest of all time. Main event was the heavyweight tournament where they had Chael Sonnen go on it, and I don't know if you're familiar with Chael Sonnen at all.
I mean, enough.
Okay, he's essentially like my second favorite probably MMA fighter behind Joe Lozon, and him almost exclusively because he's like, one, he's a good guy, like he's interesting to listen to. He does this like podcast where he just literally just like chills and sits back and talks about MMA. But he's been known, he was like the trash talker before Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
But so he's one of my favorite fighters. He went up against, I don't know if you know him, have you seen the A-Team, like the new one?
No. I need to, but I never actually did.
You're not missing too much, but he's the character that Mr. T was in the old one, in the A-Team. Oh, he's like a really good fighter. Yeah. Rampage Jackson. He went up against him. It was honestly, it was a pretty close fight. When you watched, so with this heavyweight belt, they don't necessarily have all heavyweights. Like some people are moving up weight classes to fight, and Chael is one of those fighters. I forget what he usually weighs. He probably weighs in around like, I think the cutoff for heavyweight's like 265. And Chael, I think, weighs in like 220, 230, like walking around. So like he really jumped up. Yeah. But he somehow ended up defeating Rampage, even though you watched it. And there was actually one part in the fight where Rampage like picked him up, just completely. I'll see if I can find it real quick, and like completely slammed him on the ground. And so I was jumping forth in between the two. There was the DC fight versus Ozdemir on the UFC card, where DC, honestly, he won that pretty easily. It was going to be his toughest challenge in a while. Yeah. Which I don't know if you've kept up. Like the only person that's really been better than DC in the light heavyweight division is John Jones for like so long. But obviously with him being out, I think it's another like 9 months or some shit like that for, I don't know, he which he deserves. Like he's been caught so many times doping. But DC won that fight pretty easily. And then there was the main event of Ngannou and Miocic. Should we throw up the highlights for that real quick? Yeah. It's actually really interesting.
I don't think I've seen the highlights of that yet.
The biggest thing with Ngannou is he's known for his knockout power. I know we had talked about, like, at least in the UFC, he has registered like the hardest punch of all time, which is just like fucking crazy. This is coming from a guy, he was homeless 5 years ago. And let's see, there's the Arvlovsky, it's Stipe Miocic.
Oh.
Yeah, Arvlovsky. Or no, when I was talking about Ozdemir, I meant Francis. But so the thing we've seen about Francis the thing that we didn't know about him is, one, he was destroying people so quickly, like in the stand-up, that we didn't know how long he could last in a fight. And 2, like, if he has a ground game, how good is it? And with this fight, literally, if you were to go into this fight and say, like, I'm going to bet that both these guys go 5 rounds and it goes to a division, like, people probably would have laughed at you. So whoever bet on that probably made quite a lot of money. But, yeah, let's check out these highlights. But, man, they were both just gassed at the end.
Yeah.
Before we said we knew this one was going to go 5 rounds, Kenny. We really thought it would end much sooner than it did.
Yeah, well, it almost did. Both guys
What up, dog?
landed big shots. Stipe landing a lot of nice right hands in that first round. We saw the chin of Francis Ngannou in full effect. It was Stipe landing shots from the outside.
Stipe was kind of the fan favorite going in.
Francis Ngannou on his back and just getting him to waste a lot of energy. At one point, Stipe wasn't even hitting him. He was just resting on the back of Francis.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to let you carry my weight. I'm going to let you work a lot harder. And I think that really was the strategy that truly paid off. Francis Ngannou just did not have it.
Right there. I'll explain after like what he was doing.
Just wasn't able to do it efficiently.
And Stipe did a really good technique there. You know, so you see a lot of wrestlers do it. It's a wrestling move. When you have a guy who's tired, you get on the back of the neck and just hang there. When a guy
You want to pause it real quick? So what they're talking about is it's a shot Evans on the right, I think. But what they were talking about is Stipe knew Francis was so gassed that when he had Francis up against the cage, like when he was down, like kind of like on his hands and knees, what he was doing is he wasn't even attacking him, and this is later in the fight. He was just laying on him and putting his body weight on him because he knew, like, for him, either he goes down to the ground and flattens out, and then Stipe has his back and can hit him with a rear choke. Or he has to try to, which obviously he wouldn't do that unless he like collapsed under just being completely fatigued. But or he has to try to get up, but while he's getting up, he has to hold Stipe's body weight as well. So he was trying to do that for so long, and he was on his back for like, not on his back, on his side technically against the cage for like a minute and a half partway through the fight, and it was mental warfare to like an extent. Because Stipe knew like whatever Francis tried to do, he was pretty much fucked either way. So it was a really interesting fight, but yeah, like I said, nobody would have guessed that would have gone 5 rounds like at all. But yeah. I guess for the most part, anything else to talk about with MMA? There are rumors now that if Conor doesn't fight sometime soon, that it sounds like Dana's going to serve him the belt. Because as of now, he's pretty much a retired fighter. Like he hasn't fought since like mid to late 2016 in the UFC, so it's been quite a while. But see what else is happening. Oh, it sounds like GSP isn't going to fight again too. So what happened is when he signed to come back to UFC. Do you remember that one fight that he had where he like GSP, like the legend, came back and knocked out Michael Bisping, and he hit him.
I thought he lost right away. Did he win that right away?
Yeah, it was.
I thought there was one where GSP came back and just got his ass beat like right away. Maybe it wasn't GSP.
It might have been GSP. I think he has 2 career losses. One of them, like, people usually like don't even count for the most part, because what happened is he got put in a choke and then tapped. But what he didn't know was there was only 1 second left in the round, so he tapped and then the bell went off like right as he tapped. He like would have been completely fine. He was just in a choke he knew that he like couldn't get out of, so it didn't see any sense of just like laying there. But so he technically has 2 losses, but most people consider that he really only has.
Maybe I was thinking of
Bisping, maybe? The guy that GSP beat? Because he came
I
back
think
and
I'm
got
thinking
destroyed.
of your favorite guy.
Oh, Joe Lozon.
Yeah,
he got fucked up.
Ass beat like in.
Yeah, I followed him for quite a while.
Like 20 seconds.
Yeah, or it was. I think it was somewhere around there. He walks out to this fight, and Joe like just looks like his normal self. Like Joe kind of looks like he's like an everyday dude who's just like slightly buff, but he just is in like tremendous shape. But so the thing what happened with that is this dude walks out, Clay Guida, who's been fighting for like forever. He just like he looks like a fucking caveman, like this Neanderthal looking ass walking out there and fighting, and ends up just destroying Joe. And it was like under a minute. It was pretty quick, but it was tough to see. I guess a little bit more with the Bellator like heavyweight division thing is they have some huge names in that. It was Chael, Rampage, Fedor. I don't know if you're familiar with like Fedor.
A little
He
bit.
was a Russian like MMA fighter in like one of the big Russian organizations, and he had like a win streak of like 30 something fights.
Jesus.
Like it was just insane. Fedor Emelianenko. He's like super well known in Russia too. Like he's like the LeBron James of Russia
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. And then let's see who else is there? There's Frank Mir, Matt Mitrione. Oh yeah, Big Country, the big stomach. You know Roy Nelson.
I think I've seen him. Yeah.
He's like the fat dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's in that. And then I forget who else. I know I'm forgetting like a big name or two. But yeah, I think there's one guy from Bellator also that like hasn't fought in the UFC. That's pretty good. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see because they used to do tournaments like that all the time, but they haven't in like forever. So a lot of fans are pretty happy about that happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was a Super Bowl Sunday of like MMA, so it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what else really about. Oh yeah, the Connor thing that could happen. I thought do fucking nothing.
What?
The Connor thing
Oh,
might get his belt stripped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Connor, you have to fight. Connor, you have to fight. I'll do fucking nothing. But Hurricane can't do nothing. So he.
I'm not going inside. Fucking Hurricane.
Connor. No.
No, I feel you where you at. I feel you do nothing.
Oh, I was telling you too. The guy. Yeah, I told you about how the guy that he yelled like, "Who the fuck is that guy at?" It was like, yeah, he's from Des Moines, Iowa.
Jesus.
Jeremy Stevens. But he's kind of I don't know. I'm kind of torn on him. Like you don't know with him, but yeah, I don't know. Not too much else interesting with MMA. I don't know what's come up for the next events. I'm not sure. I'd have to look, but that was my I guess getting all my thoughts out about that. That was how long were we through this recording? Like 15 minutes maybe that I talked.
We're an hour in.
Okay, so like 20. Yeah, not too bad. I guess what other I've been watching The Bachelor. Getting caught up on that. Have a half episode left.
Damn.
It's been an interesting season. There's this chick, let's see what's her name, like Crystal. That's like really.
Isn't she fucking weird?
Oh no, that's like the taxidermy chick or whatever.
Yeah, there's two chicks with the same name. What's their name?
Lauren.
No.
I think so.
Becca.
There are two Beccas. There's the one that's like.
Isn't there one that's
There's the one that like looks like she's 17.
Is one of the Beccas the one that cries all the time? Like they did that thing.
No,
with
that's
dogs.
the anal. Oh.
They did that thing with dogs and the fucking and she's like, yeah, that's what done when I'm
Well, you see,
10, I get attacked by a dog. This is really hard right now. Okay.
One of like the I have something to branch off that with. I just saw that episode. One of like the funniest things about The Bachelor is just it's like over the top, just cheesiness. Like it's just trash TV, like at its finest.
Yeah.
But there was like there was I think the episode before that they were gonna do something where they were in like beat down cars and they were gonna have like a derby thing. You've seen that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a small area, so it's not like they're going fast.
And
it's essentially
he's
like
I'm a
bumper
fucking
cars.
professional driver. You guys are getting.
But what's funny is going out to that, like she.
Oh yeah, she freaked out about that too.
No, exactly, but she had the same thing. She like started crying. She's like, I had a traumatic experience in a bumper car when I was younger, and I was like, a little odd, but like that's all right.
Like, my car just kept getting fucking bumped, dude. It's like that's literally the whole purpose.
And then what's funny is I watched the dog episode right after that, and she's like, I had a traumatic experience, like back to back shit, and I'm like, what doesn't she have traumatic?
Dude, you know what pissed me off?
What's that?
Fucking Bibiana getting sent home.
Dude, I couldn't stand Bibiana.
I only saw that one episode where she left. She built the whole fucking stargazing getup and literally didn't even get the fucking music.
Like before that, what had happened is now like there's like I guess what they always do is they try to like paint a villain like of the season.
Yeah.
Some like I mean I wouldn't surprise me if like a lot of them are planted just because some of it feels so like just like unnatural, like just pure just like evil. But there's one chick like Crystal who's like the villain this season, and this is when Crystal like you still didn't know, like you're like it could go either way. She could just be like misunderstood, or but what Crystal had when she was still like on the fence and you know about her, she'd interrupted like you know how they do that where they'll talk for like 2 minutes and somebody
like, can I get some time? And
it's hey, like if you don't mind, just like every time they walk up and it's just like, but like Crystal's just like,
fucking Ari
hey.
or whatever the fuck his name is just sitting there like.
I'll fucking go, dude. Whatever the fuck's
Fucking go to
cool.
the balcony,
I'm just trying to smash, bro.
Dude, I
Only reason I'm here. But
one time that I almost married that one chick, but then her daughter didn't fucking like me, so then I lost.
Is that what happened? I don't remember. I remember she had like the Emily chick had a daughter, but
yeah.
Is it that the kids didn't like her?
That's what Allison told me.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
because like
That's funny.
the kid like her daughter bonded more with the other dude and liked him better.
Oh, there was the one. There was I forget who this guy looked like, but he
And
was
she like dumped him on that like random ass park bench, and then they all.
Oh yeah, like in the forest.
The whole fucking camera crew just drove away. And just left him, and one camera guy just.
Yeah, one camera guy just chilling with it.
Crying
yeah.
in his garden.
Yeah, but
So let me take you to this garden, and then not only break up with you, but also abandon you.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love when they break up with them when they're like at like exotic places, and they'll be like on a private island and shit, and they'll be like, yeah, and then they'll just get the hell out of there like after that happens. But what happened with the Crystal chick is this was when you were still like unsure about her, at least the audience most likely was.
Yeah.
She'd like asked Bibiana like, oh, is it alright if I cut in? She has the most like annoying voice ever too.
Yeah.
Is it alright if I like cut in real quick? And Bibiana was like, just looked at her like sternly and was like, that's alright. And then went back and then like proceeded to just like start yelling like during the interview thing, like to the other chick. She's like, I can't believe this. It's like fucking crazy. She thought that she had like a vendetta like out for her or something, which who knows? There's so much like behind the scenes that they cut out. And,
yeah.
Like you never know like if you're actually getting like what's going on. But
dude, can we really talk about the fucking
traumatic experience with
also,
bumper cars?
well, for last thing on The Bachelor, because this is really the only full episode I've seen, was there was the one chick who went home that same episode.
Lauren S or whatever her name was.
Yeah, where she goes out to him and she's like, I just, you know, we haven't kissed yet, and I just want.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, I just feel like we're not there.
Yeah, that was fucking.
And then she's like, all right. And then the other chick comes up and like.
They're just making out. Yeah.
And she like literally, she's like, actually, let's go over to this fucking balcony right where Lauren or whatever the hell.
Oh, and that was that was the traumatic experience girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you might not want to, just in case, because it's like super loose on the Yeti.
But can we really talk about the comeback on Are You the One?
Are You the One? I don't. Oh, is that the MTV show, or whatever? Yeah.
You don't watch that shit, dog?
I think I did like the first season.
You don't fucking watch that shit, dog?
But I haven't since. Is it like season 2 or 3?
You didn't see the fucking New Orleans?
I didn't.
You didn't fucking see it.
Real quick, shit. What was I gonna say? Something about. Oh yeah, Ari. Like the more I watch it, he seems like a cool guy, but he just seems like a regular dude. Like
he reminds me of Steel. He's like a Counter-Strike.
Okay.
Well, I guess more. He's like banned for life.
He's on Minecraft. I only watch Minecraft, so I wouldn't. I don't know if I know. But
yeah, he looks like him.
Oh really? Ari's like fucking 42 or some shit like that.
Let me find him.
There's one chick on the show who's like 23. Oh yeah, they were building that up next episode. Like, telling her how old this chick is and stuff. Yeah, but no, I've watched The Bachelor, maybe since like, I watch it on and off. I don't always, when I do watch it, I watch like full seasons though. Probably since like Sean season or some shit. I don't even know, like, it's just, it's like, it's a mix of like just terrible, but yet like very entertaining TV.
Yeah, you can't really see him very well in any of these thumbnails, but you kind of see roughly. He kind of.
What's his name?
Steele. His actual name is Josh Nissan.
Is that racist?
Josh Nissan.
Josh
Nissan.
How's Steele even spelled? Like actual how?
Yeah,
like,
STEEL. I think he's on Torqued.
It's CSGO, right?
Yeah.
Liquidpedia. Oh wow, I do see it a little bit.
Just like a face shape.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, he like shaved his head.
Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah, no, I really see that. It looks like this dude looks like a mix of like Ari and FaZe Rug.
It's like Ari mixed with fucking Matt, whatever the hell, the lead singer of the 1975. Matt Healy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if Ari had the nose and cheekbones of Matt Healy.
Yeah.
The hell?
Ooh. No,
The fuck?
Dude, look at this. What's that dude's name again? I forget.
Andy Samberg?
Andy Samberg. Yeah, he actually looks like him. But, dude, I gotta figure out CSGO on my computer. I've had this problem with my computer where whenever I try to launch CSGO, it says unable to start. If one of the, like, 4 people still watching this now knows how to fix this, please let me know. But, whenever I try to launch up CSGO, it says unable to launch, app is running. And then, so I've been like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do about that. Went to task manager, all the obvious stuff. Still can't figure it out. It's not even running on there. But then when I tried to uninstall it, it said the same thing. So I'm just stuck. I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I don't know. Now all I have to play on my computer is Roller Coaster Tycoon. Not even the recent version. It's the one from like 2004. Have you played that shit, dog?
Night Dog.
You played... Oh, dude. Bet that dude hasn't even played Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Probably hasn't. I bought it at the book fair in like 3rd grade.
Really?
I fucking went in on that too.
Dude, I could go for a book fair, man.
I know.
Yeah, I miss those. But,
What the hell is book fair?
this is what we were talking about. Yeah, we get into CSGO a little bit. John's much more into it than I am, as well as he's a lot better than I am as well. But,
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, another video game. Solo topic for a tiny bit. Fortnite. Man, I'm getting into Fortnite. Like, every time... It's I saw a tweet, like, comparing it to MW2 a while ago.
Just brave stance.
It is.
Not a lot of people getting into Fortnite.
A bunch of people are into Fortnite.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
But they were just comparing it to MW2 in the way where it's like connecting with old friends and shit through like Xbox, and you hop on your friends list and everybody's on that. And no, it's been very enjoyable. I hop on every day, tell myself I'm gonna play for an hour, and then 4 hours later I find myself getting off. So it's been good. I like it. It's the first game that I felt like I've just had that feeling in quite a while. But did you see all the recent like Casey Neistat news?
I saw a headline about it.
Oh, did you? Okay. Which I like Casey Neistat quite a lot, and I kept up with this. Philly D was talking about it too in his recent video. But essentially, what happened with Casey Neistat is he. So, are you familiar with like CNN or his app Beam that essentially ended up failing? And then CNN bought Beam, but it was more of to like acquire Casey and the team behind it. And
I'm
then
sure they
so
might have like patents and stuff. Like,
yeah, I would
like
imagine
any
so.
like IP they could come up with.
Yeah, but so they acquired him for $25 million, I think is a rough estimate. And with that, what they were planning on doing is they were using him and the talent behind Beam and more like hosts. There was the Vsauce 3, like Matt, or whatever his name is, Matt Roper, I think, was integrated with it as well.
Roker?
Al Roker was...
Al Roker, the fucking clone.
But what ended up happening is, so they acquired them for $25 million. What they were trying to do is like turn what Casey was doing into like their own Vice News in a way. Like, are you familiar with Vice?
Yeah.
Like that, Philly D made that comparison that like really made sense. But I guess one of the common criticisms and like explanations for that is CNN's so like, I guess, brand oriented and intensive, is you can't really blame them, which I mean makes sense for how large of a business they have and how much of a recognizable name they have in the news industry. But what a lot of people were saying is that they can't actually like branch out and do stuff on topics that they want to cover because of them being attached to CNN and being owned by them. Obviously CNN doesn't want to put their brand at risk just over some video that Casey's doing. But yeah, they had like it was pretty successful. They were getting like a couple 100,000 views a video. But I think what it looked like is it just came down to creative differences, so they decided to part ways. But with that, if you look at this completely objectively, Casey and the team got $25 million.
Do y'all hear like that car outside blasting music?
Oh, is that out there? We have a car that our guy that delivers papers across the street, he's just like blasting music every morning at 2:30. He drives on. Yeah. But so what ended up happening is if you look at this situation completely, what's happened within the last year. So just about over a year ago, CNN acquires Beam. and the whole team around it for $25 million. They worked for CNN for a year, and then they're fucking out of there. Like, that's, I mean, yeah, goddamn it, that's so loud. Like, they essentially took all that money and then walked away a year later. But I think some of the team is getting absorbed into CNN. But you can eat that on here. You don't have to. But I don't know. Did you keep up with that like at all? No.
Not really.
No, but yes, that was a decently big news story, at least within the YouTube sphere. But I like Casey Neistat quite a while. There's a weird thing with his videos where it's like they're almost like so good that it like doesn't impress you anymore when like, because you just click on one of his videos and your expectations are already so high because you know the production value that it's gonna have that you're almost like, no, it's weird. It's a weird like. I still catch his stuff on occasion. It's great as usual, but yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else we should kind of Kevin Spacey story maybe? Update on last episode.
Yeah.
Would you want to tell that? Because it's actually a really interesting story.
I don't think it's true.
Really?
I think it's a lie.
Who do you think lied about it though?
Nobody. There are no clue. Nothing wrong.
I think. I don't know. 'Cause I mean, it's people that would know, I guess. Or do you think it was your dad who wasn't necessarily 100%? Yeah.
There is no movie.
Oh, okay.
In reality. What if,
Yeah.
What if the whole thing was a sham? A fucking sham. They're turning the fucking frogs gay. It's a fucking conspiracy.
They were intergalactic sexual predators. Or interdimensional. Hillary is a reptile.
Dog.
Those are fucking great.
I actually meant to look.
Should we play the Nick Jonas video before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's we were watching that Cody Co video earlier. He has a podcast with somebody called Noel Miller. A comedian YouTuber named Noel Miller, and they just like fuck around and they're like a
How to look like Nick Jonas.
they just like fuck around and they have a podcast that they do in like a joke rap group, and Noel like started out one of his videos with this shit.
What the fuck?
If you just go to Noel's channel, it's the most recently uploaded video, I think. Which we're pretty big fans of him. I'm sure they are for us too. I would only imagine. I mean, we have one sub, so it very well could be Noel Miller. I mean, who knows? But...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pedophilia.
Jesus. New diss track, yeah. It's fucking hilarious.
Some of you are in my mentions talking about you don't look like Nick Jonas.
Yeah, but
bitch, look at me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look at me, man. We got the same fucking face. Are you on Twitter, Instagram? All y'all talking about you don't look like Nick Jonas. Bitch, what the fuck do you know about Nick Jonas? I didn't want to do this, but now I gotta tell you something. Gotta remind all of you who the fuck I am. Hey, let's get it. Envy's on my face, but they don't think I'm Nick Jonas. My nipples pizza pants, but they don't think I'm Nick Jonas. No, this ain't no face swap, bitch. I said I'm Nick Jonas. Bitch, I said I'm Nick Jonas. Bitch, I said I'm Nick Jonas. Envy's on my face, but they don't think I'm Nick Jonas. My nipples pizza pants, but they don't think I'm Nick Jonas. No, this ain't no face swap, bitch. I said I'm Nick Jonas. Bitch, I said I'm Nick Jonas. Bitch, I said I'm Nick Jonas.
Happy fucking New Year, baby.
Dude, if we get
Depressing Reddit post.
if we get 10 likes on this video, we start in a rap group.
Yeah.
What's our name gonna be? Uh, 3232. No.
Beware the number 11.
Oh, isn't there one? Is there a song or is there a guy whose name is 1111?
It's a guy.
It's a guy. It's a god.
Yeah, quick shout out 1111.
Yeah, I mean.
Fucking peep his.
You guys heard of Kanye West too? He's like an up and coming guy. I figured might as well give a shout out to. I mean, we've got a lot of, honestly, probably, say 2, 3, 4 dozen people watching at this point. So I mean, I don't know. What about that whole like AIDS thing? Are you on board, or are you like? We were talking about this earlier on the show, where John was. What was it you said about black people?
Yeah.
Do you know the way?
In case you didn't see that last episode.
Yeah, dude, that really took a turn. Talking about Call of Duty, and then, dude, I haven't touched Call of Duty in like a month.
Call of Duty is ass.
Yeah, I don't.
The game is literally garbage.
Fucking garbo, dog.
Like, unless you're like fucking, I don't know. Unless it's literally like the first person shooter you've ever played. It's like a good starting point. You know.
What's the last COD you got like super into?
Black Ops 3.
Okay. Oh yeah, I put a shit ton of time into Black Ops 3 too.
I stayed in Black Ops 3 for like the whole year.
For Infinite?
No. What?
Oh, I thought you meant like the whole.
No, like the
whole.
whole.
Like you actually played through
the whole cycle. Yeah.
I think we all did for the most part.
A ton of Black Ops 3.
Yeah, and then did you play more of Black Ops 3 or Infinite? Or not Infinite, Advanced?
Probably
Kevin.
more. Probably more Black Ops 3, but it was a lot more aggressive of a shift from Ghosts to AW than it was from AW to Black Ops 3.
Okay.
You know, like I basically didn't play Ghosts. I stopped playing Xbox really, and then I got back into it at the start of AW. I didn't buy it for the first like month.
Okay.
And then Noah finally convinced me to buy it, so I bought it.
Oh wow! Okay.
I didn't get super into it at first either, and then throughout the year because that was when I first got into like competitive shit, and like, I just played the shit out of that game.
Okay.
And then Black Ops 3 came, and for like a good part of the year, I was probably averaging 5 or 6 hours a day on Black Ops 3.
I remember that was your first semester, right?
Yeah.
09?
Yeah. Like I would pretty much wake up, maybe go to class, probably not. Literally, I'd wake up, get lunch, play Call of Duty for like 6 or 7 hours, go to the dining center, eat dinner, come back, probably play Call of Duty for like another few hours, and then just like go to sleep.
Yeah. Holy shit. Was it one of those things where like when you're actually in the moment you didn't think about it too much, but like looking back?
No, I mean I think that only lasted for like a few weeks. It wasn't like a whole year.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was like a whole semester. It'd be like.
But yeah, I mean it was like. Yeah, it was literally that was like the height of it.
Okay.
In Black Ops 3, and then ever since then it's just been like pretty much straight Counter-Strike. I mean I was into Infinite for like a good portion of last year, but nowhere near the same. We might get on for like a few hours.
Yeah, Kyle, you and I played, or Ethan played Infinite a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bifle. It's Bifle.
And then World War One, it's just like really the only niche that Call of Duty had was the advanced movement. If they're gonna try and go boots on the ground, there's no way they can compete and try and still like market it as like a competitive esport. There's no way they're gonna compete with Counter-Strike.
Yeah. The advanced movement kind of turned it into more skill than strategy, and it's tough. Like I mean.
Yeah, I mean it just came down to who's faster, who has better aim, and made it a lot more random. Like strategically. I
still think overall like they've done, like I'm pretty so on like map design in World War II.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
if they were gonna go back to that,
boots on the ground makes it a lot harder. You right?
Aim. I don't know because I always
it just made it a lot harder. Like it made it more.
I always felt that the shift from like boots on the ground to, I feel like because of the reason it was so random that it was more skill reliant, more like actually.
But it was more like aim skill and like reaction time like skill, but it wasn't like strategic. Or as strategic, just because it was so random.
So we agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the shift from boots on the
ground. And like just like mechanically, it was a lot more difficult.
It was the shift from strategy, or slightly like strategy and skill being kind of balanced to more like skill taking over for. Yeah.
But that's the thing. That was the only niche that Call of Duty had. It's always been the game that took no like strategic skill. You didn't have to really understand the game. You really could just run around and shoot people. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like. Objective game modes, like you kind of need to like know what you're doing at least somewhat, but it's so minimal and it's like just so straightforward with all the strategy that like it's always been the game where it's just about who can shoot people quicker. Yeah, and like it became even more so that with the advanced movement, and then to an extent, now they try to go back to the old way, but it's like they're never going to compete with Counter-Strike, which has literally just been perfecting being pure strategy based.
Yeah.
Like,
how big of a community do you think Counter-Strike has?
Like worldwide or like in the United States?
I guess just worldwide in comparison to like
worldwide, I think.
Because Call of Duty, like even though they are slightly on the decline, they're still selling a ridiculous,
yeah, I think
20-something million amount of copies every year.
I think Counter-Strike probably averages anywhere from like 350 to 450,000 concurrent players.
Okay.
During the major, during majors, which like a major is going on right now. During majors, it can get up to like 800,000 or 900,000.
Okay.
Maybe even the upper end right after like the grand finals.
Yeah.
So like this Sunday it'd be interesting to look because the grand finals I think are this Sunday, and
yeah.
Usually it hits like 900 or like 900 and 950,000 concurrent players.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But when you think about that, like Counter-Strike is such a global game. They're probably so spread out that it's like just the way it
How big
works.
is it in Asia?
Like, it's not very big in Asia.
Okay.
And that's my understanding.
I imagine League and Dota.
Yeah, I think the big thing holding it back is that a lot of people play in Asia. A lot of people play in like.
Okay, yeah.
What?
Oh, Nintendogs. Minecraft.
No, a lot of people play in internet cafes. Those are still really huge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And also in Europe, but I think in Europe it's to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
But in like internet cafes, if you have like 50 computers,
what do they think that is? Is it just like there's a population that isn't, or there's a large amount of population that isn't?
There's no need for them like here, and in like parts of Europe, where because it's just like everybody here has like sick computers and like sick internet.
Well, do you think it's internet that's the biggest?
That's one of the big things there.
It's ISP.
Like, so like you know Tarek.
Yeah.
He was talking. I think it was him. He was talking about. So he's Turkish.
Real quick, if I like that would actually like mix. I mean, if you think about as far as like, have you seen some of the like just videos like walking through China and seeing some of the businesses that they have just being like complete rip-offs of like they're like fake Yeezy stores and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I could imagine they're pretty like lax on their business regulations, and I'd think that applied to like ISPs as well. So I could see where just like internet service providers just like fuck over people. Like if the same regulations are put on ISPs that are on like regular businesses, like you were talking about fake Yeezys, I could see how people get like fucked over with like internet speeds. But that's just complete. I guess I don't have anything to base it off of. I just like a line of thinking. You can see that being the case.
Yeah, but I think so. Tarek's like Turkish, right? His whole family is, and so he's been like really big in trying to grow the Turkish Counter-Strike scene. Okay. And so I think he was talking about how basically in Turkey it's a completely different dynamic. Places like that, or like Brazil, or or like other places that like in Europe there's some as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was talking about like how it's such a different dynamic because pretty much everybody plays in internet cafes.
Okay.
Because nobody can like afford to just spend that much money on a sick computer and like internet every month or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you just go to the internet cafe and you just play there, and so I think with that, if you say you're running an internet cafe, you're not gonna put put Counter-Strike on every computer for $15 or whatever.
Yeah.
When you can put League or Dota on there for free on every single one.
Yeah.
I think those being free to play has like been huge with like.
I would imagine.
Because it's like if internet cafes are your only access to gaming, and they only have free to play games. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a big factor of it. Also, I don't think it was allowed in China. I think until recently.
It was the same thing with. I could see that being true because Call of Duty was the same thing.
Yeah.
Because there's like the Call of Duty like China, like online game. You can play that was like they had like a really like dumbed down, like version of Call of Duty in China. For some reason, they couldn't get the actual like official copies. But,
there's like one Chinese team that's really good called Tyloo.
You were telling me about Tyron.
Yeah, they're the ones that Tyron. Yeah, they're the ones who had to like back out of the major.
Okay.
Actually, there was somewhat big news with that. I wonder if his stickers have gone up in like price a lot. But there's this dude named KNG.
Okay.
That used to be on Immortals. Then he was one of the 3 Immortals guys that got picked up by 100 Thieves and Nate Shot.
Oh, okay.
And so then they were supposed to be in the major, but then they had visa issues, so they had to back out too.
Mm-hmm.
So they never played the major, and then they just released him from the team today.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure his stickers are worth a lot because he has like 100 Thieves stickers in the game, but he's never played a single match under the 100 Thieves name.
Oh, okay.
Which is like really weird.
Oh, so were you saying that there were still some of the stickers that were like taken off because of the roster? Or because of like the tournament updates, like are on the market and
Yeah.
extremely valuable.
Yeah. So it's like
Have they gone up? Do you still have that one that you had?
Yeah, they've gone way down.
Have they?
I think it was.
Is it still worth like
so many because there was like 12 or 13 hours in between when they announced that they were back or getting replaced, and then when they finally took them out of the game, that people literally could have gone on and bought 1,000 of them, and then they're just going to slowly drip them into the market. That it just brings them down. And the ones that are worth like $800 for the capsules they have so many things going for them. One was the first tournament that ever put stickers in the game.
Okay.
So and so there's one, or that's one thing that makes it like more unique.
Mm-hmm.
Two, because of that, like the player base was just so much lower. I think, and so it was just like there was less people watching, which means there was less of them to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just more rare. Yeah. Three, two of the teams in there, iBuyPower and Titan, both don't exist anymore.
Yeah, let's see. There was did I see something about one of the iBuyPower guys, like our ban was like lifted like somewhere recently or something like that?
All of them got unbanned from ESL and from DreamHack.
Okay.
So now they can basically play in everything except the majors. But
majors aren't ESL. It's something completely separate.
They're Valve like sponsors them, and Valve still has them banned from all Valve sponsored events.
Okay.
And so like even if the company's fine with it, then I don't think they can.
Yeah. Are the majors or is ESL bigger? I'd imagine the majors, right?
Yeah, I mean I think ESL does some of the majors.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of the majors.
Oh, so majors is more of like an abstract.
Yeah, one of the majors might be like ESL 1 New York or something like that.
Okay.
This one right now is like E-League. It's like the E-League Boston one.
Okay.
The last major before this current one was like PGL. They did one.
So I forget which. I'm gonna check what Counter-Strike. I was gonna ask you about this, like what account I should follow for like my official news from like. I'll see what I follow.
Oh, there's one called like CS:GO Dev, that is like the official one.
Well, do they release much? I think I checked that one out and it didn't.
Look not like tournament stuff.
Okay.
I would follow.
Let's see what I did.
I would follow E-League, or like ESL.
I'll check. I don't really follow too many actual like people other than I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to
probably
think.
Like 10, 15.
I'm sure I don't know if HLTV has.
I follow the ESL Counter-Strike account, and it has like a million followers.
Yeah, I think it just depends on if there's a tournament going on for their event. Like I don't think they're gonna like try and hype up like other people's tournaments.
That makes sense. Yeah, I just wasn't familiar on the actual.
Yes, like right now, if you follow like E-League, then you just get like so many. They've been posting.
I see
so
the
much stuff
ESL. E-League, or I'll look that all up later and stuff.
Yeah.
What was I gonna ask you about? Oh, Kevin Spacey story.
Such a long.
Do you want to actually tell it?
False story.
Is it? Do you think it's actually false?
Dude,
if you do, then don't tell it because we wouldn't want to tarnish the good name of Kevin Spacey. So.
Oh God, it's not even that bad. It's like pretty funny. It's
just the fact that it's something that's been so public, like a personal like tie to that. If you don't know, John actually. Never mind. No, every once in a while, like I start to say something that I'm like. I feel like it's just what every rational human being has. It's
oh fuck! It's 250 though.
Filter mode turns on for a second, and then I think like, oh, I shouldn't say that. Usually that never stops me, but this time, like, no, what were you saying?
It's like 250.
How long is this recording?
I don't know, but I was supposed to be at that place at 3.
Oh, where were you supposed
to go clean, dog?
Oh, you're supposed to be at.
Them hoes clean.
Them hoes clean.
So we're going for an hour and a half.
See, what was I gonna ask you about? Oh, you might want to take that off the screen, too. Yeah.
No, fuck it.
No, fuck him, dog. See, what all else happened between the last episode?
We went back to Iowa.
We did. We both went back to Iowa. Yeah.
It's fun.
Hung out for a night too.
Yeah.
Flew 2,000 miles back.
Yeah.
And saw each other. Yeah. It's cool to spend a lot of time with family and stuff. It was good to see. Did you have family like in town? Yeah. Or did you guys go somewhere?
Like my whole immediate family was in town.
Okay.
And then I got together with both both sides of my extended family. So it was
yeah. How I forget. I was asking about this a while ago because we both have divorced parents.
Yeah.
Which is a fun topic,
yeah.
As always, divorce. But
I'm serious, John.
how's your time like split up for like holidays and stuff?
Usually my dad just comes over and like it's.
That's cool that your parents like.
My parents get along so well. It's just
yeah,
like,
yeah. Because that's something I don't think my parents have been in the same room like once or twice since their divorce, and it was only because of like stuff with my brother, like just meetings and like but I don't know. That's interesting for sure. But yeah, I don't know what else is there to kind of cover.
No clue, dog.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot going on in politics now, but it's just like I haven't kept up as much as I usually do. There's just like so much shit. It's just I don't know. Yeah, pretty interesting. Should we call it a wrap or an Anthony wrap? With
an Anthony wrap.
Should we get into our sponsorships?
Yeah. Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah, this episode is actually sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. Neither of us have shaved recently, but they've been kind enough to send us actually a lifetime supply of razors, which should be here within the next week. What'd they say? Who was our second sponsor again?
Gillette Fusion.
Whatever we said about Dollar Shave Club, I take that back. Gillette Fusion was really hooking us up with 4 lifetimes worth of razors. So
it's like that thing where like you go to jail for like 3 life sentences. That's like what Gillette did.
Oh, okay.
So it's like,
yeah. Dude, did you hear about? I guess they were saying. There's a lot of people talking about how
good Dollar Shave Club is. Yeah.
No, they're on the Gillette train now. Oh. What's a Dollar Shave Club? But we should Anthony wrap this up in a minute. But I'm sorry, Anthony, if you're watching. So insensitive. John made me say that, or he told me to. No, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, they were talking about how the way like the judge, which I can't blame her, like handled that so emotionally, and like some of the stuff wasn't necessarily like textbook shit that you're supposed to do. They said that it could be grounds for an appeal, and then them redoing the whole process. Yeah. But I mean, which I said I can't blame her because I probably would have handled everything. It'd be tough not to like handle that in a similar fashion. It's I don't know. Like, I mean, I think all of us to an extent are for like second chances for some people, but when your like evil side is that fucking dark, it's just I don't know. It's so fucked up. And that was something. It's not like, I mean, given like nothing's just like one little mistake, but it's not like it was just like one time. And then like this lasted like decades and shit.
Yeah.
Like a couple decades. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. I think they said like 168 like gymnasts testified against him. Just
Jesus.
Yeah, just crazy. Yeah, so unless he can, never mind. I was gonna say unless he can figure out a way to Andy Dufresne himself out of there, he's gonna be locked away for quite a while. But
all right, are we calling it?
Should we probably call it good? Yeah. Any last words? Any more sponsors to cover? I don't know. I'm just trying to make a dent in the universe, honestly. And I think with this
podcast,
you on
some new wavelength.
Let's see. Are we almost
mentally
at 2 hours?
The shit out of it.
Mentally fucked it.
Probably like an hour 40.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, hour 38.
Okay, I was gonna say if we're close to 2, we should just go for it, but that'll be a little while.
Wow. Just fucking send it.
Fucking send it, dog. When are we gonna do episode 4?
4 months.
4 months. We'll double the time that it took for episode 3.
Each episode. It'll be like Bitcoin. Each episode will be harder to get to.
Okay, and on that note, we'll wrap this up. And thanks for watching episode 3 of the 100 Guys podcast. And like John said earlier, oh, did you pause it? No. Oh, I didn't really have